is showtime, according to this, and I can try and catch up on the comments. 6 minutes late. I'm not doing too bad here. Fun times, fun times. Oh, look, my son is in here. My son should be doing homework. Hey, son, are you winning, son? Are you doing homework, son? Insert meme here. Afternoon, all kinds of people. Let's see. Is next week going to be an 8-bit special, assuming base 0 if base 1? Have to wait until 256. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me think about that. I don't know, man. I'll agree with Corey here. I should do something special for one of those two, or maybe both of them. Maybe both of them. What can we do at 255? There'll be something. I don't know. I come up with something. Hello from the UP. Yes, Marcus, I'm late. Am I always late, Marcus? My son will comment on that. I'll let him go ahead and comment on that. So, let's see. Must insert super chats to begin stream. We'll go with that. Well, let's see. We have to somehow fund Tom's new home office. Yes. Click all those affiliate links and all that stuff. Please fund my home office project. It's kind of stalled at the moment because I'm waiting on, not really waiting. I mean, I got to the point where I could. The plugs are installed and everything else. I'm just waiting on the contractors because they got a mud and drywall. That's just scheduling at that point. And I'm impatient. So when they ask when I would like it done, I'm like, yesterday, like last week, the moment it could be done, I wanted it done. So that's the whole thing there. Yes, I am off purchasing pizza today. That is why my son's here to see exactly when this is over, so he knows the time at which pizza is coming. Oh, the thumbnail, though. Yes, there is a Yubikey in the thumbnail. Look at that. I'm working on some deeply. I'm not deeply technical. I don't know if that's the right word. Technical videos on Yubikey. Deeply technical, maybe, kind of. Me and Jay kind of dove into it, and I want to do a good technical explainer on how these work so I can put it all together. Me and Jay from Learn Linux TV have been discussing it and talking about all the cool, fancy things you can do with the Yubikey, how it works, strategies and ideas, but also in addition to, I want to talk about TOTP and still how you can use Yubikey, not just for the OTP that the Yubikey can do, but the TOTP methods and fun things like that. That's obviously a big question. I figured that's a good discussion to have here today. I don't have a ton of time. Mudding and taping is the worst. Yes, it is. There is no doubt about that. And I probably can pull up for those that want to know the current status of it. Let's see if I can't share that out. Share screen, Chrome tab. That's what it currently looks like. And so the walls are done. The plugs are installed. They work. The plugs are all in functioning order now. Look at that. I got all the electrical done. But these are the seams that you must mud and tape to get the studio finished. A few people asked me about drops in here. That's not really something that's going to be an issue. That's why there's not going to be much of video on installing wiring in this. The desk is going to go like right here. And this whole little, I don't know if you can really see the mouse there, but my desk is going in this area here. All of my rack and everything is on the other side of that wall. That's where all my computers will be. So the only thing in here is going to be monitors. Therefore, I don't really need any drops or line drops put in at all. If I ever wanted to, I could always add them, of course, but I don't really need to for the nature of how this room is going to be set up and laid out. It's not really a necessary feature. So there's not any wiring drops in there. So saves me the trouble. So there's not going to be a wiring video directly related to this particular room. Do I have a picture of the other side? Nope, still don't have one. I've been reworking on the other side. It's actually, I finished that. I didn't take another picture. It's done on the other side too. When I move the server, I'll do it is pretty much how that'll work. So yes. Yeah, the Ubiquiti breach. The other video I will is uploading and will be published after this. I didn't have time to publish it before this. Is all the details that we know from reading the indictment about the insider breach. Insider breach. So too long didn't watch Tom's video. It's really simple. Mr. Nick Sharp, the not so sharp Nick Sharp. Decided that his high level of working at Ubiquiti as something cloud, something developer, I don't know exactly, I forgot his title at the moment. I do have it in the article, but Nick works there. Nick decides he's going to pretend to be a threat actor by extracting data. And oops, while he was extracting data, the VPN dropped. They then exposed his public IP. He had, and because he had to, it's not a matter of principles of least privilege. His job entitled him to a lot of access inside of Ubiquiti. Therefore, he was able to pretend to be a threat actor who got in. But of course, he got in using his credentials. So when they exposed that his credentials were used against his home IP, when he accidentally let the VPN down, that gave him the correlation data. The FBI raids Nick's house. Now, this is where things get dumber, is they raid Nick's house. And then Nick says, I'm going to go contact Krebs and do a whole whistleblower story, because after the FBI raids your house and gathers evidence on you, why not dig the hole deeper? So that's in the indictment too. Yeah, it is just a pizza fund. We're $3 away from the $5 pizza. So, oh man. Yes, I'm going to be making a WireGuard 2 PF Sense guide, definitely coming soon. Let's go pizza. I am not putting hardwood floors in. So what's actually going to go in the studio is going to be a mostly cement floor with some throw rugs to dampen the sound. So now I'm putting in carpeting on one side of my basement because there's two projects going simultaneously. I'm building a big game room there. Matter of fact, for those of you that want to know how this is laid out, I think I have a picture I can share real quick, so we can have all the dimensions on it. So this is the layout. And so we have the this room right here, the small one down here, is a studio. This is the staircase. And then this larger room, which is a lot more space, it is actually a 22-foot by 33-foot room. That 22 by 33-foot room is going to be the family room. That's going to be carpeted. I'm doing a cement floor, a stained black cement floor, along with carpeting. That's like throw rug type carpets. Part of the reason I'm doing that is because the service lines, if you ever have to service my sewer system at my house, the service access is in the studio area. So I don't want to put any carpet down there in case it ever, I have some type of incident with my sewer lines or I have to work on them. I would be pulling up the floor to get to the access. So I'm leaving that floor open where we just roll the carpets up, put them out of the way, and we could access the sewer lines in there. So kind of why I did that way. The less mud you put on, the less mud you have to smooth off. You've never watched me mud, have you? I am not good at either one of those. That's why I hired contractors. Oh, let's see. Yes, mold resistant drywall. They refer to it as green board here in the US, but it's whatever the mold resistant type is. I've always called it green board. Anyone else in chat using Yubikey in a CGIS environment for AA? Yeah, I am not. Let's see. Ooh, should I get an LTT desk pad for my office? There's a thought. WireGuard can be super interesting for a site-to-site home or privacy VPN. Yes, it does work good for that. It's not bad in terms of that. VPN with no kill switch. Yep, VPN with no kill switch. Yep, pretty much. Let's see. How cheesy. I hope you're referring to the pizza. I'm going to keep doing homework, so have fun and being geeks. Marcus, we hope one day you will join the geeky among us. My son is really more, my son's a gamer, but he's not quite geek. He's not as interested in tech as the rest of us. Oh, yeah, he also tried covering things up and changing log retentions. Absolutely. I don't know if I'm going to go to the Novi Pet Expo. That's a maybe, but I know my cousin will be there. Different story, different topic. The best pizza is free pizza. That's not bad. How's the camera video coming along? Slowly but surely. I actually had posted on Twitter a cool time-lapse video that I did with the Synology stuff. So that's still on my to-do list. Hacker News had a good comment from former recorder, described in more detail his role and why he had all the access. I seen that, but it's unverified. That's why I didn't cite that in my thing. I try to cite only things I can corroborate. So someone claiming on Hacker News to be an ex-employee of Ubiquiti is kind of a fuzzy. I can't prove it. The person would really have to show something that they worked there before they can be believable. I didn't want to go through the vetting process. So I'm not saying for sure they don't. I'm not saying for sure they do. I just try to be extremely careful with what I report. For example, Krebs on security reporting that this was a catastrophic breach as told to him by a whistleblower turned out to be the person doing the breach. So you can see how even if you do verification for something such as the person working there, the person may have alternative motives. So now Krebs has his own, problems with that, so to speak. I mean, I don't know that there's any journalistic problems Krebs will really run into. I don't know what maybe he has by now, as I didn't look recently, if he put out a statement or not. I was going to go check Krebs said. I think he did update the article just to say we know more now type thing. But that kind of puts you in a weird situation because does Krebs get named at all as the person they did it? In the United States, journalists are protected from revealing the sources of their information. So Krebs is not liable. He's not required and obligated to reveal that information to anyone if this is the same person that said this was like that. But all evidence in the indictment says it was this person that did it. They just didn't name Krebs in there. So what password keeper do I use? I'm a big fan of Bitwarden. I Bitwarden all the way. So I've got a few videos on it. I still to this day use Bitwarden. Any way to remote access Nextcloud or C-File on a Raspberry Pi without port forwarding, maybe using zero tier? Yeah, zero tier is a way to do it without having to do any of that. So if you use something like zero tier, that's what avoids the port forwarding. That's one of the reasons overlay networks such as zero tier are an important aspect for people who are behind carrier grade NAT or just want a level of security that doesn't require any port forwards. So yeah, that's absolutely a good solution for that. The IPv4 cleanup project, I don't know. I think Steve Gibson was ranting about it, right, and rightfully so. You're just going to break a lot of things trying to do that. I don't know. I'll maybe do a video on it. It's the act of desperation. I don't know. So they're trying to find a few more IP addresses here. Hey, a fellow follower passed away. Well, that's sad to hear. Would you kindly do a mention shout out? He was a massive fan of yours and he was very proud if you made it onto our show. So shout out to Joshua. Hopefully, yeah, that's sad. That's tragic. I am sorry to hear that. It's especially, anyone's passed away. It's rough. That is rough. Hey, Tom, what do you think of the new UI coming to XCP-ng and Zen Orchestra? I'm excited. They are working on development. Now, so far, I'm not going to dive much into this because I'm not ruling out that I did something completely wrong. I didn't get the S3 bucket thing working. I tried it. It doesn't work. I don't know what I'm not saying. I'll post in our forums before I determine if there's any bugs in it. I just know I did it and it didn't work right. I really can't rule out that it's not me. Let's see. Uh, do you dabble with 3D printing cases or other weird attachments and brackets? Have you think about? Not really. I don't really do a lot of 3D printing. My staff does all the 3D printing. They print lots of goofy things and occasionally useful things. I don't really do. I don't play with it much myself. Oh, you're referring to Nick. Okay. uh, I don't know of any good ones for TrueNAS. Sorry on that one when it comes to photo sharing. I know I did the Synology one, and as I said in the Synology video, the reason I'm doing this is because Synology has a pretty solid turnkey app for that. I don't know of anything good that's turnkey that works well. So yeah. Can use Edge X to manage spam emails on a network as well. Do I have to do endpoint security? I don't know that there's any type of mail management at all that could be incorporated into the Edge router. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think it has any proxy functions like that. Could be wrong. I don't really use Edge routers. So yeah, I'm not sure. Spam filtering is a different topic. Yeah, $4 billion in market capitalization. Yeah. Bitwarden is awesome. I am a big fan of it. One of the questions that comes up, and this is something you can do in Bitwarden, and let's talk about that because this seems like a fun thing to actually show a demo of. So inside of Bitwarden, and this is one of my lab systems, we're going to share the screen here. Hey, look, this is a familiar screen. Many of us have seen. Let me make it a little bigger. Now, if I fill this in with Bitwarden, I'm going to, and it's not going to show on the screen, but I'm going to head and just paste this in. Now, with doing nothing else, it just pasted my 2FA in for this particular instance. One of the things you can save inside of Bitwarden besides username and password is your 2FA, your TOTP. Now, here's the question. Is it really two-factor? If I have all of my factors in one place? And this is kind of a struggle you have of, well, is it? And this becomes kind of a fuzzy thing that I'm going to work on a video for where I kind of explain when you should, when you shouldn't. And essentially, if you're a end user and you don't really want to bother with, phone apps and things like that with TOTP, using Bitwarden is great. It's way better because now you've got two factors for the website, and that's solid as long as someone doesn't get in your Bitwarden. But one of the rules I've been generally coming up with, when do I or when don't I save things in Bitwarden, really comes down to the different sites I'm using. So I use Bitwarden for my personal and for my business. For my business stuff, my lab stuff, even though it's in a lab, I still turn on 2FA because I can. And I can turn it on this lab demo system I've got set up for this little TrueNAS Mini, which is just back in my lab right now. I can just save it in Bitwarden confidently. Anything else that is really critical to the business, even though I trust Bitwarden, I still want to have two physically separate credential storage management systems. So I don't save everything in Bitwarden when it comes to that. For my 2FA, I use, if you're familiar with it, it is, and actually let's just pull it up so I don't have to spell it. This is what I'm using on my phone for 2FA. And this is all part of a discussion I'll end up. Did I put it in the wrong tab? Yep. Hold on. You get it in the right tab. There we go. Aegis Authenticator is a open source, free, secure Android two-step verification system. It's great. I really like this tool. It allows me to organize it. It has a few different options in here. It has different backup options. It will let you get the codes back out if you need to. I think this is a great 2FA application, and it sells me on the confidence of it because it's not attached to any cloud. It will generate a file that is encrypted if you want it to get things out of here. It is a really nice app. So when I get around to doing my updated 2FA video, I'll be talking about Bitwarden, some about Yubikey, and of course also about this. So the getting things done with 2FA, this is one of my ways to do it. So like I said, Bitwarden's awesome, but there are some challenges if you want to put everything in one basket. But overall, I still think it's pretty solid if you don't have anything else. How do you handle 2FA across a team that needs access to one account? It depends on the system. So being in the IT business space, there's a couple different ways we do this. Actually, most of the time, all the systems we have different, like we set up each person with their own account. You can set up admins and things like that, but sometimes you have to keep another phone in a safe that has some of the 2FA stuff or other things on there. That's one of the other methodologies can do it. So it's definitely, there's ways to handle that. Most of the time, everyone just gets their own account. So everyone has their own 2FA and you're not sharing. Hey, that's awesome that you guys use internally with the core team as well. Bitwarden, just solid. It's how we manage passwords here. It's just we've been using it for a while now. They keep coming out with more features. They keep coming out with better things. It's really nice the way Bitwarden handles it. And one of the things I love about the 2FA thing is when you paste in the username and password, it copies the 2FA code right to if you have the TOTP in there, it'll copy it right to the clipboard. So you just got to click paste on the TOTP and it just works. It just makes life better. Which Yubikey do you use? This is the what is this one? This is my demo one I got in right now. Firmware hacks. It's one with the touch on it. Yubikey Touch I don't know what they're called. The one with the touch on it. How's that? So hopefully that'll help. Let's see. Thomas, Star Trek Generations Christmas movie is sure. Am I planning a review of the MikroTik CC216? No, not on my radar right now. I don't do. I may or may not. The MikroTik reviews, the number of people that ask me versus the number of people that actually take the time to view the video is pretty low. So I'm not. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to do a MikroTik review on that. I see people ask about it, but I don't know. I don't know if there's enough interest in it. There's always a few people asking. It's a maybe. It's Serve the Home does a good job of it. Like just watch Serve the Home. I don't really have any more to add than they say on it. So yeah, IPv port blocks keep selling for more money in the secondary market. Yeah, they're going for a lot of money. So for TrueNet Scale, we have quite a few photo apps. Yeah, probably more Docker ones available for that. So let's see. Does FreeNAS, TrueNAS have better NFS quota store? I've never used quota support, so I don't know. I know they have it. It's actually something I have never used. I've never had a use case where I said I need quota support on here. So I don't know. NFS works amazing on TrueNAS. Quotas, never used them, so I don't know. I don't know at all. Is it overkill to run network cable to every room? Probably. So many things are going wireless. It's maybe one of those things that don't matter in another 10 years as much. Your critical things like your gaming computer or devices like cameras still need to get power, and doing PoE is great. So running them to places you need cameras makes a lot of sense. Running them to places where you'll have a desktop computer, maybe even a laptop plugged in, makes sense. It makes less sense to run one into the bathroom, but feel free. I mean, it's easier to do it when you're building the house than after you built the house. Stuck on which way to go with home lab build, mixed drive sizes, running Windows VMs, TrueNAS, Proxmox with mixed drives, would you suggest? TrueNAS works best with what do you call it? The same drives. So I don't recommend mixed drives for that. I don't know if I can really help in outside of that. Yeah, all the keys in the same place. That's where the problem is. What phone do I use? Currently, this is a Pixel 4. Tomorrow, I'll have a Pixel 6, according to the tracking number. Pixel 6 Pro tomorrow. I never use iOS, so I have no help on what you should be using for iOS. The F-Droid tool, the Aegis tool, is not for iOS. I got nothing on iOS. Nobody here at my company uses iOS, so it's not really been an issue. Is there a way to run Bitwarden in Synology without using a domain name in SSL? It's a headache when you don't have a proper SSL cert. So you can also use a reverse proxy to get the SSL. You'll get an error and you can overcome the error, but you'll end up with weird problems if you don't set up a proper SSL cert for Bitwarden. And you don't have to have it publicly exposed to do that. My Bitwarden is behind a proxy, a reverse proxy. So it's not publicly exposed at all. It's only accessible over when you're outside the office over a VPN. So you absolutely can set up Bitwarden with a proper SSL with a reverse proxy and not have it publicly exposed. But yes, it works much better when you don't have to click through those error messages, because you'll find every now and then it just stops syncing. And we found out that we were doing some, when we were first testing Bitwarden, we found out if it doesn't have a valid SSL, you can check the box to allow it to accept it, but sometimes it stops syncing and you have to like force it to sync. So you can kind of make it work. Oh, let's see. What else? Wow, lots of stuff. Yeah, the Bitwarden internal TOTP, that is really cool. Great feature. Let's see. Scroll down here. What do I think about D-RAID and ZFS? Great to see they're innovating. Ubiquiti Connect, not really. They have some new VPN stuff they're working on that I haven't really dove much into. It's neat looking. I don't know. They need a more clear roadmap for me to really tell you about it, because that's, people have asked me about it, and even I go, they need a roadmap for this thing. They have the whole identity thing and some stuff they're doing, but yeah, I don't have a clear roadmap on it just yet. I haven't really dove into it. Thanks for your awesome tutorials. It feels like you're like you are reconfiguring my home lab. 2FA is one of the next things on my list. Ooh, where are you with S1 now that Huntress combines with Defender? So we've been testing the managed AV. It just kind of depends on the situation. It's cool when someone has a, and we actually have a split of this. We have some people that are wanting to use the managed AV because they don't want to get the whole suite of S1 because it's more money. They want just Huntress. We are also a reseller of Huntress, and we've helped some people deploy this, and it helps them do the managed AV portion. So it's still, managed AV is still not the same as S1, because Microsoft Defender, while is actually a pretty good system, I'm not going to tell you otherwise. Defender actually scores relatively well. S1 adds a lot of enhancements beyond what just Defender can do. I am working on an updated video of S1 because once we got away from buying it from Enable and we buy we use directly S1 now. We're not getting it through Enable. We get it through what they call PAX 8. They're a reseller of it. That's actually the easiest way to get it, by the way. So once we took care of that, I want to do an updated video because it's so much better. Any tips on how to add UniFi Protect from my 4-drive UNVR into my UniFi controller? I don't know. no tips or help on that. UniFi is designed to run on their hardware, not somewhere else. There's hacky ways to do it. I've never tried. I know there's people out there doing it. It's outside of the scope of something I've tried. Would you trust XCP adjuster in production versus home lab use? The problem is there's not an easy way to notify you when there's a RAID problem. So as long as you've come up with a method by which you can monitor the RAID array, it's solid and reliable. It's a matter of you having a methodology that if a drive fails in that RAID array, can you see that failure? There's ways to do it. You just got to monitor the logs and check the MDM, and you can export syslog over to a syslog server that you can set a trigger on it. As long as you've got those things set up, it just doesn't have a native notifier built in to tell you if the RAID array has a problem. By the way, use ZFS, not MDM. I would use ZFS because ZFS is in the system. So I would actually recommend that for XCPNG. But the same answer, you have to be able to monitor the ZFS array. I don't use it, but I know Authy is popular. That does have an iOS and Google and Android app. I've never tested any alternatives to the Yubikey, so I don't know. You give support to a remote phone like Android or iPhone, which tool you use? I don't understand that question. We don't. If you're asking if we do phone support, we don't. I don't understand the question though. Let's see. I like Bitwarden, but it doesn't always recognize a new password when I enter it the first time on a site. Likewise, it doesn't autofill every time. Neither does any password manager because some site designers are morons. I'm just going to call them out. If they're not using standard ways that they format the fields, the password manager, whatever that password manager is, has to play catch up with, oh, what are they calling it today? What do they call the username field? What do they call the password field? And get it up to date. This is just a challenge sometimes for the password managers. And you can say, but I tried LastPass and it got it. But then you may find one that LastPass doesn't get that Bitwarden has. Each one of these is just reading through the fields and understanding it. So this is why password managers are often working against the challenge of designers with, I have a dumb idea. Instead of following and calling it the password box, let's call it something different because that's somehow better. I don't know. Did I ever play BBS games? No, not really. Never. Well, I mean, I don't remember many. Mostly I was there for the data, man. Back in the BBS days, it was all about me just gaining knowledge, and I was a big reader of things. So I was mostly in the BBSs to find what books I could download and what books could be shared, hacking books and everything else that were available back then, or any type of, always downloading the latest copy of the jargon file and things like that. So I was never a big BBS game person, no. I know there were a few, but they were never, none of them were so memorable that I remember. So, throw darts at them. I don't know that they're blindfolded, but they're definitely throwing darts over at Ubiquiti. They do what they do. They know they have a core product that makes them a lot. This is the one thing. If you're a one-trick pony and you're only doing one thing, there is the fear that there could be a market shift that makes you not the one-trick pony because someone else does that trick better or the same or has met it. So I don't blame companies for taking the revenue they have and innovating on different ideas. I don't know what goes on internally there. We have a little bit of insight of something that went on internally there, but I don't know what goes on internally for some of the decisions they make. Some of the things seem really off base. Sometimes they have really on base things that are doing well. So I'm trying S1 on PAX 8 and their support has been great so far. I mentioned you guys and the support guys recognized you. Yes, they know us. I actually, well, not just at PAX 8, but inside of Sentinel-1, they know us as well. We've actually had to use their support like almost zero, but we already knew Sentinel-1. We knew what was missing from it because when we signed up, we were in the beta program for Enable. When we were in the beta program, they gave us full dashboard access. Later, and this is where I am confused as to what happened, there were features that seemed to vanish. And that's when we realized that once if you were to buy it through Enable today, you don't get the same dashboard that we got when we initially started with Enable, because they changed the way they implement it. That's what made us switch from Enable over to PAX 8 for Sentinel-1, because we weren't getting all the features, and now we are. So, but yeah. Hello, Switzerland. Dunkel Aura from Switzerland. Let's see. Some site designers are morons. I can repeat that a lot. I used to have a web development. I used to do web development. I've had web developers working for me, and I've met a few of them that I'm like, why would you do it that way? Why would you? That's not innovation. So, yeah. Yeah, site designers that break elements such as filling in passwords. Because why? I don't know. Maybe. I don't like doing Wi-Fi reviews that much, so maybe. Yeah. The standards they want for fields, right? Let's see. What S1 product to use for general deployment? Complete. I don't remember the name of it. The big one. Biggest issues, I moved away from an issue. I moved away from email. Couldn't get an email notification when it happened on the SM PAX 8 dashboard. It's fantastic. Yes. When do you plan to test IPv6 only network? for 20 years, it's the year of IPv6, and no, it's not. I don't know. I have a feeling there's a small chance that the internet won't even work the same way before IP6 ever gets fully implemented. So it's not on my to-do list at all. It's not really, really, really low priority. If I'm really bored and have nothing to do, I'll dive in IPv6. That's when I'll do it. Or for some reason the world changes and I'm wrong. Too many developers are interested in using the latest bloated framework instead of making a usable website. That's a thing. So let's see. What's the first big tech project you did just for fun? I don't know that any of them are. I don't know that I can really think about that one. That's that's not an easy answer, saying that right there. So that's because I don't know what I mean, anything I do, just I want to build an array or anything like that. Is that just for fun, or sometimes it's for use in my lab? So hard to say. So the year of the Linux desktop, I think, could come before the year of IPv6. How's that? and I'm not exactly someone who thinks the year of a Linux desktop is coming anytime soon either. There we go. The year of the IPv6 will be 2 years after the Linux desktop, at least. I won't argue that point. You're probably not wrong at all. What was I doing? Well, I'll give you guys 10 more minutes, because then I'm going to get a pizza for my son. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the electric utility side. Now, there's actually, oddly enough, it is the year of IPv6 if you're using a phone, because phones use IPv6. So, yes. The IPv6 is actually the back end for a lot of the phone networks. And so that's a thing. 3 years from now, not likely. I mean, we are reaching an IPv4 exhaust. We've reached an IPv4 exhaustion, but I'm not that worried about it. So, let's see. So, do you advise customers block outbound ports, or is that outdated advice? That's pretty much just a headache. And it adds the illusion of security. I mean, I guess you could block outbound ports, and maybe some C2 servers going, oh, I can't get out on this odd port number for some reason. Or maybe C2 servers are using HTTPS or port 80 for a lot of command and control, and it won't do any good at all. It's really old advice. There'll be someone that argues me that you should do it as part of proper locking things down. And yeah, I don't know. I like OpenVPN and WireGuard. Those are the VPNs I like to use. So we will switch to hex measure. Yeah. Outbound 53 reroute or block. So this is a challenge because with DNS over HTTPS, that's the X workaround. You got to actually block DNS over HTTPS. You can do a rewrite rule for port 53. That way, when your DNS is going out, it can rewrite it to a different DNS server. But this sometimes breaks IoT devices that expect to be able to talk to their DNS server, even though you've redirected them. Some of them may not like that redirection. So that can be sometimes a challenge you'll run into. We run into people, and it's really rare. We offer a limited amount of some home user consulting. We don't lower our rates for it, by the way. Matter of fact, home users are often sometimes more difficult people to work with because they often have these crazy rules they set up, and then they break all their IoT things. Then they block everything. And we're like, you have to start releasing some of this if you want it to work. So we help unwind some of the overbearing protections they put in that broke anything, because you are telling me you want your cloud enabled garage door opener to work, but I don't want anything accessing the internet without my implicit permission. Which one do you want to work? Your implicit permission? Well, you told the garage opener it couldn't get out. That's why your garage door opener isn't opening anymore. I don't know exactly. I don't have the perfect both world scenario for you. When does the USA conversion to metric fit in with the timetables being discussed before or after the year of Linux, before or after IPv6? Look, alls I know is if you switch to United States from, some type of measurement like kilograms versus pounds, there's just going to be mass confusion. Got to get a dad joke in there. Yes, we just did a home lab show. So check out our home lab show where we discuss OpenVPN versus WireGuard. So I have an entire 40 minutes of rambling about OpenVPN and WireGuard. So do we got a groan? We get this. No one liked my dad joke. Groan X2. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. The Home Assistant does work for people who don't want the cloud enabled, but then you have to find all the proper devices and get them working with Home Assistant, which sometimes creates its own challenge. It's not impossible to do. It's just more work than the automatic. It connects to the magic cloud things. So yeah. Let's see. Hey, cool. You are doing AV broadcast engineer. That's cool. There's a lot that goes into that. Ah, yes, it's America. We measure everything in freedom units. Yeah, I like Z-Wave. I've gone in on Z-Wave stuff. That's what I have here at the office, and that's what's going in at my new studio is Z-Wave. Separate IoT completely separate network by a firewall. Set DNS IoT devices to Pi-hole or similar. That's actually the problem. If you set the DNS to some of your IoT devices to Pi-hole, they may not work. So it depends on the IoT device. Yeah, Zigbee is just such a simple solution, just to press button and go. I think Zigbee works great, and it's enough of a standard that it's easy to find lots of devices that are on Zigbee. I use a button to open my garage door, so I don't even have my garage door opener tied to Wi-Fi, Zigbee, or anything else because it isn't. I'm not that opposed to pressing the button. I actually have an old school garage door opener, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal to me. Not that big of a deal. All right, make sure. Got a couple more minutes here because I got to order pizza and upload my video. Matter of fact, I can kick off the upload right now because I need to upload the video because it's done rendering. What is it? The UniFi Insider Yeah, insider threats really challenging. That whole UniFi thing is just a mess. I feel for Ubiquiti on that one. I mean, no one wants the insider threat. That's just someone inside the company being a dick. I mean, honestly. So that's oh my gosh. Chris, I didn't realize Chris had a video on it already. Chris's video is a lot longer than mine. Maybe I should watch Chris's before I upload mine. Anyone watch Chris's video from Crosstalk? I didn't even know he did a video until I'm uploading mine and it popped up. So to use the same account on your phone and your computer. Account for what? My current garage opener has a physical key. Got to slide it open by hand. Old school dumb door. That's all right, though. Armstrong method. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't I have a big motorcycle, so I'm okay with that. So yeah, Chris has a video on it. So I didn't Chris was quick to get this out there. Oh, it's funny. The first comment, let me actually switch this to Chris's. I was laughing. I'm looking at the comments on it. Did any of you watch Chris's video on this? I haven't yet. I've discovered it only moments ago. But I like the first comment on here. I trust Chris and Tom Lawrence for the correct info. So cool. That's on there. And this is Crosstalk Solutions, Ubiquiti Breach, mind-blowing new info. I like that Chris completely clickbaited it. I haven't even decided the titles. I'm just uploading right now. So oh, you posted about 7 hours ago. I don't watch a ton of YouTube. I do sometimes at night. So what did he talk about for so long on it that it's that long? I think mine's 7 minutes long. Oh, you went over the whole thing? Oh, see, I don't have to apologize. People were mad at me because I didn't go hard on Ubiquiti. And I said, we don't know. And your lawyers tell you to be quiet. I said that in my January video. I said it again in the Krebs video. I'm going based on what Krebs said. I'm going on what Ubiquiti didn't say. And so I didn't really have to apologize. What do I think about the future of Ubiquiti versus Cisco? They both have a long future ahead of them. Do you use the same email account on your phone and your computer? Yes. It was good. Ubiquiti situation, a good example of two things. Why you want your host your own controllers. Two, why you should use a key like Ubiquiti. Yeah. And I said the same thing. You're going to have to, you can do, and this is part of the problem. You can do everything right. You can do compartmentalization. You can do principles of least privilege. You can follow with all those things and still have a threat actor because someone still has to organize all of those high level things. If someone at a high level decides that they want to be the one to do the insider threat, they have a high level of privilege and are going to be able to do it. That's all there's no way you can really protect against it. The best thing you can do is have some immutable audit logs that allow you to unravel what they did. And hopefully that's even enough deterrent, knowing that you have such logs that stop people from doing it. But some people are just bad. What I was mentioning in Level 1's latest vid, what video did they do? Oh, TrueNAS Scale. Is that one? That's cool. I like Wendell. Me and Wendell chat from time to time. He's great. The video in Chris was quite good on how we all got it wrong. I don't know that we all got it wrong, but okay. Any info you have in the cloud is accessible by their internal staff, disgruntled employees. Yep. Don't believe everything you read. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Wow, Tom is cool. I'll highlight the comment because I like it. Well, let's see. Reading the charges against the employee. So it was interesting. The charges and evidence there, but maybe much detail for people like it. Yeah, I actually covered the indictment's really short. It's only a couple pages. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, maybe I'll watch Chris. Hey, it's Chris. I'm gonna watch Chris's video too. I was just commenting. I don't know when Chris joined, but at least I know he's here now. But yeah, Chris. I didn't know you did a video. So good job on getting it out there fast. Because boy, there's a lot to talk about. But did Chris use my joke about Mr. Nick Sharp being not so sharp? Because why not? Let's see. Cheers. Now there's a Krebs response article too. Oh, good. I mean, it kind of puts Krebs in a weird situation. I don't think Krebs had to. Let's pull up the Krebs article right now. Krebs doesn't, because Krebs didn't get named, but I mean, he's kind of part of it now. So let's see what he said. Oh, my joke came after the video. Employees spotted the unusual downloads. Continue reading. Okay, so yeah, Krebs has a response. Sharp faces 4 criminal charges, including wire fraud, intentionally damaging protect computer transmission, interstate communication with intent to extort, and making false statements to the FBI. Yeah, he's in trouble. Spoiler alert, he didn't address anything. Yep, doesn't look like it. Sharp's profile says poverty aggregation. By the way, for those of you that don't know, if you want to dig deeper, if you want to do a little bit more digging here, folks, that's our guy here. So this is links to everything. So if anyone wants it, he's got a Keybase profile for what it's worth. He calls himself Thrive Dev. This is his Twitter, his Reddit. Don't worry, there's nothing on there if you want to look at it. He does follow Brian Krebs, though. Isn't that interesting? He does follow Brian Krebs, so that's at least one thing on there. There's yeah, someone did say that too. That was another comment I seen. Despite what this picture may make you think it was not big brain time. No, it was not. But yep, there's all his links for anyone that wants to see it. And you can see him on LinkedIn where he had his listing of his job and things like that. So yep, that's about that. Does he have his LinkedIn here? No. Well, I guess he doesn't find a job after you. Probably not. No, the DDoS people, I don't think they've stopped or caught those. He doesn't look happy in that photo, but I don't know. I'm not here to judge either. I don't judge people by their looks. I'll judge them by their actions, and I think his actions make him a dick. So we'll call him Nick the Dick, because I did say that in my video. I'm sorry. That guy's a dick. That's just awful to do something like that. He will have a few years in lockup to look like. Yeah. I don't know, man. The guy's just, yeah. I mean, that's just a really crappy thing to do. So That's all I got. That was my opinion at the end of my video. So spoiler, if you don't feel like watching my video, I just cover a few basic things quickly. I ran through it just to have people who have DM'd me and said, Tom, did you know? I had Facebook messages and everything else. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. I was like, that's interesting. So me and Sam, we'll commiserate over this when the whole enable thing is done. That's an upcoming video probably. We'll dive into the enable topic, but that's not today because we don't have enough time. I got to order a pizza. So thank you everyone for joining. Definitely a good time as always. I will dive into soon the 2FA video talking about ways to store your 2FA. Sorry, iPhone users, you won't be on the list because I'm a Aegis user. They don't have an iPhone version for that, but I will be talking about me and Jay from Learn Linux TV will talk about some integrations because we're both doing some independent videos on this of doing some integration with Yubikey and Linux and unlocking your desktop with it. Then I will also just be doing some more generalized 2FA stuff. And by the way, I have an entire video already on TOTP. So if you check my channel, if you don't know how TOTP works, this is an older video. Let me see. But I do have a whole video on how TOTP one time works. I even have a bash script that allows you to do it in there. So yes, all kinds of fun stuff. So I will be covering that soon. Just like Chris said right here from Crosstalk, 2FA every day, 2FA all day, every day. So you can't get enough of it. Absolutely. All right. Thank you all for joining and take care. See you in the forums and Twitter and all the places you can usually find me. Facebook's random. For those of you that have followed me on Facebook, you may have noticed that I'm not on there all the time. It's kind of, I go on there, I reply, and then I disappear for a while again. So, so that's how we handle all that. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.